So I feel, I'm always asking myself this question, and I'm curious, like, how long do you give a good idea or something that you know is a solid strategy before you give up on it? Because I tend to think that there's a lot of people out there trying to do inbound marketing. You know, blogs are not new.
No.
Social media, you know, is now in the mainstream.
No.
And yet we're still trying to figure this stuff out. So, you know, it almost feels like last man standing kind of contest. If you can consistently create great content, and then, you know, a function of that is it gets shared and gets talked about, of course, and you get attention and you get written up in magazines and whatever, you know, that have happened to us. But, you know, what about all the other great ideas that didn't have the staying power? How long do you give it?
You mean if you're starting to do inbound marketing, how long do you give it?
Yeah, so at HubSpot, you guys work with a lot of new small businesses, right?
We do.
I mean, it's not enterprise stuff, it's small business.
Yep. So,
I mean, what's your advice to those people?
Yeah, the thing with inbound marketing and content creation, it's not overnight. It never happens overnight. It takes 3, 4, 5 months before you start to really see it click. Mm-hmm. The nice thing there's a couple interesting things about inbound marketing and about content creation. The first interesting thing is the math on content creation is the exact opposite math as to traditional outbound advertising, whatever type of marketing you want to call it. Where I create a piece of content today, let's just say it's a blog to make it simple, write a great blog article, and then write another one a week from now, and another one a week from now, and another one a week from now, so I've got 4 pieces of content. Those pieces of content are permanent assets sort of on your marketing balance sheet. They never go away. People link to them, those links are permanent links, they send you traffic, it can rank in Google forever, it can get spun up on Twitter, Facebook, whatnot forever, they're permanent. Whereas traditional marketing is like you're renting space. It's a renting versus owning. It's an asset versus a rental.
Yeah.
Sort of the first thing I like. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So that, you said 4 to 5 months?
3 or 4 months starts to click.
So, I'll repeat that. So you said 3 to 4 months. Is that sort of consistent with the amount of time it takes to sort of propagate the internet and get the, you know, bots to crawl your site and, you know, to sort of bubble up? Is that kind of the time frame you've given?
It's just more, we have 10,000 customers and we look at the math of people who create an article or 2 a week, let's say.
Yeah.
And when they can start to really see the leads start flowing in and the customers flowing in. When people give up after a month, it's a real shame because it takes a few months.
Yeah.
I'll tell you another thing I think is really interesting about this type of marketing is it's a little bit like venture capitalists. When a venture capitalist will invest, they'll make, let's say they'll make 100 bets across 100 companies. 5 will be home runs, 4 will be doubles, let's say 6 will be singles, and the rest will be strikeouts. So there's 85 strikeouts.
By the way, you're a Boston guy. I should say congratulations first.
Thank you. About the Red
Way
Sox.
to go.
Thank you.
We're all behind you. We're all rooting for you.
Cool. And it's a little bit like that with inbound marketing and with content creation is you might create 100 posts and the average post might get 1,000 visitors to it. But once in a while you write a post, you'll get 100,000 or 1 million visitors to that post.
Yeah, it takes off, goes viral.
And so it's a little bit, it's a timing game. And if you do it for 3 or 4 months versus 3 or 4 weeks, you're more likely to hit one of those articles that will really tip.
So we talked a little bit about the duration. Let's talk about the frequency. Sure. So what kind of frequency do you recommend to sort of get the traction that we're all looking for?
Okay, the thing I say to our customers is at a minimum, 3 or 4 hours a week that you're doing some sort of content creation, social media work, email marketing, some sort of marketing work, and you can really get your mojo going. So that's the floor. On the top side, what we've noticed is there is a bit of an upper end on how much content you can create. And so, for example, at HubSpot, we found on any given single blog, if you write more than 2 posts a day, the amount of unsubscribes tends to go up. So
there's this law of diminishing returns.
There is, on a given blog. So my suggestion is if you've got so much mojo that you're hitting 2 a day, is start a new blog. So there's sort of a lower boundary and upper boundary. I don't have exact science on it, but it's about 3 or 4 hours a week on the low end.
Yeah.
And maybe that's 2 pieces of content a week. Maybe it's 2 blog articles a week and an ebook once a month.
Okay, so I'm fascinated by this. You sort of to carry it in the VC terms. You know, we're diversifying our portfolio here, right?
Yes.
That's kind of your strategy, right?
Yeah.
So you want to have several touch points. So whether it's, well, let me ask you this. So, you know, blogs obviously still very viable, great way to go. you're building assets, you're not renting space. Where else should I be? Where else should I pay attention to?
If I'm starting new, blogs are easy, so I like that one. Creating video content is a very good way to go.
Yeah. Not easy, by the way. Takes real talent.
We found that just ebooks work incredibly well.
Okay.
If you write a thoughtful ebook and you combine it with your, let's say you're writing 2 blog articles a week and you link them to your ebook, it's like this machine that just starts to crank where somebody reads the blog article, they click on a call to action, links to a landing page that describes the ebook, fill out the form, you get the ebook, you nurture that person via email. That's the fundamental inbound marketing machine. It works incredibly well.
How many pages in a good ebook?
10.
10 pages.
Yeah.
So.
Some nice pictures.
Yeah.